Therapy here today, and this is Boss. This is one of my mom's trail horses, and today we are talking about how to properly pull off a shoe in an emergency situation. So this video is perfect for homeowners who have a horse that pulled a shoe or has a shoe with a hot nail or something where you have to get that shoe off right away, and maybe your farrier can't make it out. Now, ideally your farrier makes it out and you can get that shoe off by a professional, but a lot of the times homeowners will use a screwdriver or use something that isn't fully safe to get a shoe off. So if your farrier cannot make it out, this is for you guys to try and get an idea of how to pull off a shoe. But again, please, please, please have your farrier do it. This is only if he cannot make it out. So this is Boss. She has her shoes on. They stayed on really good. They're nice and tight. And we're going to be going through the proper tools and technique to pull her shoes off today. Oh, a very sweet girl. So, with pulling a shoe, first thing I recommend is having a hoof pick with a brush to get all the dirt out first, so you're not fighting the dirt to get to the underneath the shoe. The other thing you're going to need is an old rasp. Now, most farriers, they already have a bunch of old rasps. You might not have an old rasp. So if you want to have a new rasp in hand, I recommend the red tang or the blue tang. I don't like Amazon. Please do not buy your tools from Amazon. You can get on any farrier shop. I get a lot of my stuff from Stock Offs, Tennessee Farrier Supply, places like that. So this is one of my older rasps. This is going to get the clenches off in the front of the foot, so that you're not fighting with the clenches to get it off the foot. The next thing you're going to need is a pair of nail pullers. I like to sometimes, and I recommend using nail pullers to get a few nails out first to make it a little bit less pulling on their foot. So sometimes I'll just use my nail pullers. If I have one that doesn't like the feel of the shoe coming off, I'll just pull the nails out and then the shoe will come off on its own. So always have a nice pair of nail pullers. It doesn't really matter what brand. However, again, I don't like getting my tools from Amazon. So if you can get it from a farrier supply shop, I definitely would. These are diamond, because like I said, it doesn't really, you're not needing to cut anything. So these are diamond. The other thing you're gonna need is a pair of shoe pullers. I think these are also diamond. I'm not sure, these are an old pair that I've had for a while. But shoe pullers obviously are going to get your shoe off. Please don't use a screwdriver or pliers or anything else. Please get an actual set of shoe pullers. I like the ones with the lines on the side, only because I'm a farrier and I can use it to cheat a little and extend to my shoes. But shoe pullers, nail pullers, old rasp, and a hoof pick. Now I'm not trimming her quite yet. I will do that after this video so I can set my new rasp and my nippers to the side for a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I think we can see somewhat of her feet. I'm going to have her be over to the side. Awesome. You're okay. I know. I normally have you in crossed eyes. Let me switch one step over. I know. There you go. He said he'll trick you with how you're tied, so I'm not going to nitpick too much today, but I do need to get to that foot. I know. This isn't a training time right now, so let's just get this. Good girl. Now stand there. Never stand directly in front of your horse. Luckily I know this horse. I don't think she's gonna do anything. So I like to have a hoof stand. You don't necessarily need one. What you could also do, if she'll do it for me today, is you can put it between your knees like this. My back only lasts so many horses, so I cheat a little bit. I'm gonna put it on the hoof stand, and you'll see your nails. Usually 3 nails on each side, could be more, could be less, especially if your shoe's already half off. And we're gonna take our old rasp and we're gonna level out those clenches so that you don't have to fight with the hoof wall and the nail to pull this out. So you should file it down until you can't see your clenches anymore. Or at least that they're level with the foot. There's nothing holding that nail to the wall anymore. That's pretty level. So now I can technically toss this to the side. Thank you, boss. Let me tie her back up because I don't need her forward facing anymore. Alright. This shoe stayed on really nicely. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hoof pick and brush, doesn't matter what kind, and I'm just going to get as much of the dirt out as I can. If I wanted to as well, I can also take it out of here, but you technically really don't need to. Definitely need a trim. I think she's at 6 weeks, if I remember correctly. Maybe 7, just about. So let's say I want to use my nail pullers first. I'll take, and here's a close-up, take my nail pullers and I'll wrap it around the head of that nail, in between that rim there. And I'm going to grab it. Helps if I do it correctly. And I'm going to pull this way towards the front of her foot, and that pulls that nail out. Make sure you keep track of them. I put them right on my magnet. So we could do it that way. Pull it forward. That gets those nails out. That's one way you could do it. You could go all the way around like that. I like to do that. I think that's a little bit safer. So that's a good technique to use. The other thing you can do is you can take your shoe puller and you can put, you can pull one set of nails out and then leave the other 4 if you wanted to as well. But now I'm going to take around the bottom of the shoe. I'm going to grab onto it. I got my hand right here and I'm going to pull it forward just a little bit, using the hoof wall to kind of keep my something to brace against, almost. I'm going to take this on. Now we're getting towards pulling those nails out. And I just work a little bit at a time. I'm not trying to force it off. And it was easy because I beveled those nails out on the bottom. See, I can already right away pull one of those nails out. So I'm going to take on the bottom of the foot and now brace against the wall and pull it out. And I got one more. And now we got that shoe off. I'm going to show you guys again on the other side. This is a really nice shoe as well. Technically, I might save this one for her. Is this a Kirk? Yeah, this is a Kirk. I really like these shoes. So I can pull my nails out. I might save this shoe for her only because she only got 1 ride in this set. So it's still got 1 more use in it. She just beveled that toe a little bit. So, it's not bent hardly at all. It only needs, because when you're pulling on something, it is gonna make it a little unlevel. It is slightly unlevel. Take my hammer, reshape it, put it back on. So if your horse does pull a shoe and you pull the other one, save them for your farrier. They might put a new set on, they might not. Just depends on how the shoe quality looks. I usually put on a new set. A lot of farriers look at it and they decide, this has 1 more use. And that's what I'm thinking with her, because this isn't a client horse, this is my mom's horse. So I can probably get 1 more use out of this shoe. And it is essentially how you pull your shoes off. I'm going to reset the camera and we'll do that other foot really quick. Oh, look over there, look over here. Alright, we got 1 more shoe to pull off. I can see this is a really good nail. You can see my 6 nails, so I will take my old rasp, and you guys can kind of see on my camera. I'm just going to level it to the wall. I don't want to see these clenches sticking down. You almost want to make it to where you can't see them anymore. You just see the little bit of a shine there because it's level with the foot. Because what that's going to do is it's going to make it easier to pull that shoe off. You want to fight the horse as little as possible. You know, imagine having something, obviously we don't nail things to our foot, so let's just say we have a shoe too small. Even though obviously we don't want a shoe too small on our horse. We want to properly fit our shoes. But let's say we had a shoe too small on our foot, for example, and someone was, you'd ask, hey, pull my shoe off, and they're sitting there fighting there. That's not comfortable to be trying to rip a shoe off that's stuck on. So we want to make it obviously properly fit your shoes. Don't have a shoe too small on your horse. But we want to properly file these things down so we're fighting with as little leverage as possible. So we're filing these down. There we go. And all I did was get these level. I'm not worried about taking any of this wall off. Obviously you see these lines here, it's because I took a little wall off. I'll smoothen that out when I go to trim the foot, but our goal is to get these nails off, not trim the foot. So that was really good. Says, please talk to your farrier before doing this. He will also tell you his technique for doing it. This is my technique, and this is a very common technique. This is the same technique I learned at school, and the same technique I've watched over 100 times. So this is a really, this is a really good way to get your shoes off as safely as possible. All right, pick. Good girl. Very good. So we've got our shoe here. This one looks pretty good too, so I think I am going to save these shoes to reuse on her. She's going to be barefoot this time. I might shoe her next time. Only because I just don't have time to shoe today. But we'll see. Whenever she goes, I think she's picking her to go camping with. So I might shoe her when she goes camping. I like to get as much dirt out of it as I can. Her bars definitely grew, so we're definitely going to be taking some off her bars today. Bars are this piece here that's really long for some reason this time around. But she hasn't had a shoe on in probably 5 years. She's had her a year. This is her first time being shod with her. She definitely was not shod in the last home. So again, take our nail pullers, and we're going to get this part around the head. Like so. Sometimes I take the edge and I get this dirt out when I forget to do it with the hoof pick. And we're going to pull like this. Now the other thing we can do is we have this circular part here. There's a circular part on a lot of these. You can use that to grab your nail. To grab it this way as well. So you can do that either way. I'm going to show you guys one more. You can do this with all the nails or just one. So grab your nail pullers around the head, right in that rim, and pull it down towards, using the shoe to kind of brace against. I am going to grab this with the circles again. I'm going to give her a second because she's doing really good. I can feel her losing her balance. It's a good job. And you can see that empty nail hole now on both feet. And honestly, they look, she's got some nice feet. I really like her feet. Pick. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our shoe pullers. This is the important part. This is the part you guys need to understand the most. Grab it right on that foot. And I'm going to just loosen it up on both sides with this one because this one's on a little bit tighter. And I already lifted it up a little bit. Grab it and use the wall to kind of brace against to pull forward. Just grabbing onto the shoe, not the hoof itself. Pull it forward. Pull it forward. Tight and clear right now if you want to. You can take your hand to pull it off, but you gotta be careful with that because you don't want to take off any foot. So that's why I kind of just do a little bit of a wiggle there at the end. I've seen people literally pull off a chunk of wall. It's gonna happen sometimes. Try to avoid it. So once again, if I kneel down here because I trust this horse a little too much, we've got some nails there. And we should be able to pull them out. I might need nail cutters for some, but I'm going to try to avoid using nail cutters. This is one of the ones, the last one to come out, so that one bent a little bit. It's coming out good though. Yeah. Now I can either toss these or I can save them. I think I'm going to save them and put them on her one more time. The Kirk Sharks might might be pronouncing that wrong, last really good. So we've still got another use out of them, which is good. I've only used these, I think they've been on her for 6 weeks, 6 or 7. I think this is the end of week 6. Because my barefoot trims, I trim every 4 weeks. I'm not gonna leave shoes on for 4 weeks when they can last 6. But you can see she's got a little more growth because of that. So yeah, that is essentially how you pull up a shoe. If you have any questions, please let me know. But always be sure, any videos you see online about farrier work, please talk to your farrier first. This is just for the people at home that do like to be able to know how to pull shoes off, even though most farriers will recommend, call me out and pull it off. Let the professional that went to school pull it off. And that's totally fair as well. So always talk to your farrier first. This is just for the people that do want to be able to pull a shoe off in an emergency situation. Because there is going to be a possibility of something happening to that shoe where it needs to come off that day and your farrier might not be able to make it out that day. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys.